Hey, good morning traders. Today we're going to look at LYFT. The ticker symbol is LYFT. And we're going to start on the weekly chart because I want to show you how this price action is developing and ultimately what I'm seeing in the charts and where I think this is going, which is much higher. So you're going to want to stick around all the way to the end. Okay, so what do we have? We have this massive move down from, previous all-time highs. When this thing IPO'd, it was hot. It was about $88, right? It just had this downtrend, and on the weekly chart, you can see what we're forming is a very, very nice pattern, and that very nice pattern is a rounded bottom, right? So you have this left rounded bottom, then you actually have a W bottom, which is basically just a double bottom. Or you could look at it, this whole thing as a triple bottom with multiple touch points, and it held this level here. You had this kind of shakeout right here, which is a bear trap. So if we draw this over like so, you can see how we came down through this, faked a lot of potential bears out, and then we ignited through it, came back, tested this level, went higher, established that kind of top to the neckline of this rounded bottom. Then we came back down really aggressively, created this low, which tested that same pivot, came back up, created this middle of the W, came back down, kissed it, and then came back up, retested, and here we are today. So on the weekly chart, some very, very interesting things. Much like this area right here, we had a breakout of the neckline, okay? And then we never confirmed here, right? You can see these upper wicks, never confirmed on the weekly, came back in, faded that neckline, never confirmed, bear trap, bear trap, right? Because they came through, they thought they were going to take it lower, trapped a lot of bears in here, so said, this isn't going to break, bear trap, same like we had right here, bear trap. And then last week, we had a move back through it, reestablishing ourselves above the moving average band, right? The 9 and the 20 and the 50, which is beautiful, right? And we have the 50 curled up. Now, to this week, we're having a really, really, really good weekly candle and possibly weekly close. So now let's break it down. Let's go to the daily chart, and I want to show you what we see here. That weekly hold, look at this. So on the daily chart, that actually looks like a breakdown and a bear flag, doesn't it, right? So you have this bearish chop, and then boom, we ignited. So we actually confirmed on yesterday's candle, and then we confirmed on Monday's candle, and then yesterday we had further confirmation. So this breakout's real. You can see expanding volume, looks good. We're above the moving averages here. But now we're going to go to the 4-hour chart. Now we really want to show you some interesting things here, right? So I'm going to draw here's what we're going to do, because I want to break this down a little bit even more granular. So you see clearly here, we had these 4-hour rejections. So when you see something like that, what you want to draw this kind of zone right here. Okay, you want to connect these highs, and you have all these wicks into it. You had the failure. Then what did you do? You came back down, and this is the same thing we were looking at, just on a smaller time frame. And we broke through it. We back tested it, checked and tested the 9 EMA, and then we've made our move higher from here. So this, my friends, is a confirmed breakout now on both the 4-hour and the daily, and this looks extremely good. So we're getting a little bit of pullback action. If we go over to, let's go back to the daily, because I want to show you this. You can see we flipped and cleared these lows here, right? Which was always this resistance zone. So you could see, you could take this pivot high here, or pivot low there. You can take this pivot low here, and you can see that essentially was the neckline area of this rounded bottom and W pattern. So, and that's where that fake out was just so bad. It came back down, reestablished itself below it, and this is the fuel to this fire today. So this and what's developing, on this chart, where I think it's ultimately going. So again, this bearish pattern failed, which leads to an explosive move to the upside, and here we are today. So now let me go into the 24-hour chart, and you can see we have confirmation above this zone right here. So why do I say we have confirmation? Why do I know that? Well, you could see above this pivot high, we closed above it, right? Then we had a candle high right here, at 23.85. Then we had our confirming candle yesterday on here, and look at that, very, very bullish candle. So today we're getting a little pullback, not bad. I'd like to actually see it do something like this. This would be really, really amazing. If we can get a pullback into here, into this level right here, 23, let's call it 23.30. This, my friends, is the optimal entry point for a move higher, right there. 23.40, 23.50, $23, kind of anywhere between 23, I'd say, and 23.50 is your perfect entry point if you're not already in this name. So I love this. I actually picked up some calls yesterday on this, but I will definitely add right here. I want to take some really decent size right in here. Now, granted, it has to hold here, but what we're going to want to see is called a break and a retest long. So breakout, confirmed, retest, that's your entry point. And then that has to hold. And, you know, again, it's trading. So could it come back down, hold? Could it do something like this? You know, do a couple, maybe a double bottom there, even a triple bottom, and then go higher? Yes. So just know that can happen. And that would actually be pretty nice. It'd look like on the 4-hour chart, or even the 1 hour, 4 hour, it would look like another one of these breakdowns with this bearish consolidation chop, and then that could set us up for the fuel higher. So just be aware of it doing that. Also, it could just bam and just do a V, come back, retest it, and then we're off to the races. But this looks extremely good. Okay, so now let's look at some of our targets, right? So first things first, we're gonna want to measure the. You could look at this a couple different ways. We could look at this as a rounded bottom. You could even look at this. This could even be a cup and a handle. You could look at it as a flipped Adam and Eve. Either way, this is a very, very bullish setup with a breakout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the neckline high, right, which is right here, and we're going to take it all the way to the bottom, right here, and then we're going to move this. This is your measured move. Okay, so we're going to take it from that neckline high breakout, and just to play it safe, I'm going to take it from this low right here, this pivot low. Okay, and that, my friends, gives us a target of $32.36, and that would align with actually this pivot low bottom right there before it bounced right there. So look at that alignment, that confluence, that puts us there. If you take it from the true neckline of the breakout, you would have a target that's slightly higher at 34 and change, call it 34.50, 34.75, and look where that would align with. That would align with all of these pivot lows right there, right? Boom, 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 boom. All of that resistance or right there would now align and have major confluence with that. So those are my two primary price targets, is 32.30 and 34.50, call it. Another way you could look at this is you could take it as a trend-based fib extension. You can take it from this low here to this high on the 24-hour chart and that low there, and you have a couple of different targets here. So you have your 100%, which puts us right in the middle of this. So I really like this kind of zone right here for take profit. Anywhere right here, first target, second target, you know, and in this zone. You also have your extended fibs above that. So you have these levels here. Could it go as high as $42? The answer is absolutely yes. It obviously a lot of things would have to happen. The market would have to cooperate, all those things. But yeah, this looks very good. So take a screenshot of this. Here's your different levels. Here's my definitely take profit zone, I would say. And that, my friends, on options can return a quite nice return. So that is a very good area. You could also take this even a little bit lower, because on the 24-hour or on the daily chart, it's not quite that high, and you have a little bit more confluence if you do it this way. So you take it to that kind of high here, and then you have your 100% right here. That would be a very conservative. You have your alignment right here on your 123.6, and then you have this 150 that kind of puts us in this zone. So either way you slice it, however you calculate your targets, this, my friends, looks like an unbelievable setup and something you're not going to want to fade and you're going to want to be long. So again, no financial advice given, only for educational purposes. And like I said, to share with you what I'm doing with my own personal trading portfolio. Like I said, already in calls from me. and I will likely add on this pullback. So there you have it, guys. LYFT, ticker symbol LYFT. Love this symbol, love the setup, and this one looks good. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the subscription. If you're not already subscribed, then subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, and you will get these updates in real time. Okay, guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.